Welcome to Badly Written Boy, a reciting of my teenage years and my 20s, now as a 40-something. How do I remember all these things? I wrote it all down in a diary. Badly. Enduring with me on this retrospective, cringeworthy experience is my wife, who has never read my diaries. Okay.
It's been a while.
Where have you been?
You were sick, and then we had holidays where you abandoned me and did a podcast without me.
Well, I feel like we're about to turn a corner. I think viewers and listeners are going to come flooding in anytime soon.
We just need to use special keywords.
Yeah. What's the special keywords this?
I mean, what makes lots of money? Hashtag OnlyFans.
OnlyFans? Yeah. Okay.
Hashtag vagina.
Hashtag Pornhub.
No one watches Pornhub anymore.
How do you know?
Because it's all OnlyFans now, isn't it? Take back your hashtag. Give me a better one.
A better one? Mm-hmm. Hashtag Harris.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Hashtag vote blue.
Should it not be hashtag Kamala Harris?
One, it's Kamala.
Kamala. I don't know.
You can hear what I'm saying, so just repeat. Kamala.
Car. There's no R.
It's comma, like a comma.
A comma?
Yeah, comma la. Kamala, that's her name.
So there's a comma in it?
There's not a comma in it, that's just how you pronounce it.
All right, I'm just being silly.
There is a long history of white people mispronouncing black people's names, so we just need to get that right.
And let's be fair, that's not even the most difficult one.
It's not, and still you struggled.
All right, let me try another one. Jessica.
I'm not really that black, but yes, that is correct.
Nailed it. You haven't listened to the last episode yet, have you?
I haven't had time. Because I'm a terrible fan.
You're not even a fan of your own podcast.
It's not my podcast anymore. You're the only person that's been in every episode.
Yeah.
I haven't now.
100% streak.
I know. So when they do an IMDb on us, in episode 26, I will not appear.
No.
Tell me what happened in the last episode.
Well, I kind of want to just jump into this episode and see
Okay.
if there's any questions that you have.
Okay.
You just need to get on it.
I will try. Listen to it in a car when I'm on my own. When am I on my own anymore?
And when you're in a car, you get into Aldi and that's about it.
I've lived such a boring life.
You don't have a commute anymore. You just need to just do a couple of laps around the neighborhood so you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'll do. This week. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, we have streaked ahead.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Next line, please, Mark.
I don't know music.
How do you not know that song? It's a classic.
I don't know music.
You know that song, all right?
No, I don't.
Do you not know that song? It's by Wet, Wet, Wet.
Well, I definitely don't know it because I don't give a
When
shit about
love
Wet, Wet,
is
Wet.
all around me, and so the feeling grows. You know that song?
Nah, never heard it in my life.
You know I love you. I always
You singing
will.
it more.
No, because this is the chorus bit. My mind's made up by the way that I feel.
No.
If there's no beginning,
Never heard of
there'll
it.
be no end. How do you not know this song? Because all my
You
love
saying it more enthusiastically is not going to make me know this song.
How do you not know that song?
I don't know the song, and I couldn't give a fuck about Wet, Wet, Wet.
You don't need to give a fuck about Wet, Wet, Wet. It's a classic.
Well, evidently it's not because I've never heard of it.
Every single people of the 5 people that listen to this podcast absolutely know that song. I cannot believe you don't know that song.
Well,
this is a massive sidetrack, but I cannot believe you don't know that song.
You know what I'm going to be doing between the end of this episode and the start of the next episode?
What?
Not listening to Wet, Wet, Wet.
Fine, let's move on. It's not
You
new
ready?
information that you do not know anything about good
Yep.
music.
I'll see you back in your classic attire as well.
I was a bit cold and I'm also not wearing a bra. I wasn't ready to be filmed with my boobs touching the floor.
Yeah.
So
I'm not wearing a bra either.
it's for the best when we're at home and we're comfy.
Post-holiday spread. We have streaked ahead to July. We're still in 2005.
Excellent.
And yeah, if you've got any questions about the previous month that arise, do let me know. I don't know why it took so long to say that.
Kind regards.
Okay, Friday the 1st. I woke up at about 10, but didn't see the point in getting up in a hurry since I had to start work at 12. 12 to 8, a long haul shift.
Where are you working right now?
The local shop for local people.
So like the mill?
Yeah,
Okay.
the mills.
Mills.
Yeah.
With the people that you hate that are all slacks and tramps.
Yeah, not a fan of that role.
Yeah.
You feel like you're there for a lifetime, especially when you're not enjoying it. At least Paul wasn't in for the majority of the shift, so Paul's the manager. The new lad, Craig, has become a cocky bastard pretty quickly. He's a pain in the arse because he's always needing permission to sell alcohol as he's under 18. So he's just doing his job.
He is.
And trying not to break the law.
He is.
I got lots of attention because of my haircut and unexpected praise, even off Chava scumbags.
Do we know what this haircut looks like?
Blonde tips.
Oh, God, no. Is this the era?
It was the pre-holiday. I'm about to go on holiday to Turkey. It was pre-holiday haircut. And
Bleaching your hair before you go in the sun is never a good idea.
Well, it was tips. So they did that thing where they pull the plastic over your head
on.
and like rip the bits through and charged me 50 quid for it.
£50 in 2005?
Yeah.
That is an insane amount of money.
It was. It was at Saks, fancy hairdresser in town.
Saks is not fancy, but please continue.
Was for me. Ben and I watched Big Brother as Saskia
Oh, I love that season.
got evicted for being a prize bitch. There was a cool metal show on earlier in the morning, which featured Lamb of God and Shadows Fall. Awesome bands.
Are you not going to see Shadows Fall?
What?
Is that who you're going to see?
No, that's who I saw.
Who are you going to see in like a few weeks then?
Well, I saw Shadows Fall earlier in this year in this diary, and also supporting in that gig was Parkway Drive, and that's who I'm going to see.
Parkway Drive, that's it. Right, yeah.
That's who I'm going to see.
I knew it was 2 words.
Yeah. So I saw them in 2005, seeing them in 2024. Long time between drinks.
My favourite thing to do when you make a funny is just to stare at you until see how long
silly.
it can be awkward for.
Yeah. I worked 6 till 11 with Ash at Mills. Steph wasn't in, so we made this crazy list of odds on why she wouldn't come in. She had been marked off as being sick, so we pondered the possibilities. This ranged from the common cold and hay fever to sudden hair loss or an animal attack. My personal favourites were swallowed a marble, head entrapment in a wine bottle, excessive helium consumption.
I saw Michelle for the first time in ages when I got home. I think she's matured a bit, probably from being at uni and having Dave.
Having Dave?
Mm-hmm. Seems
or
legit.
Just around? Or
Seems legit.
Yep.
I decided I'd try Gameitation to see if they had any games. A basket had been set aside for unboxed MD games.
Sorry, Games Station, did you say?
Oh, yeah, it is
Gay Station.
No, I said Gameitation.
Oh, gay imitation.
No, Gameitation.
Oh, right, Jesus.
That's what it looks like because you've tried to link everything up, but it is actually Game Station. But I'm going to call it Gameitation from now on, please. Gamertation. I picked up Road Rash 2, Mortal Kombat 2, Sonic Spinball, and Desert Strike, a few of which I'll be able to sell on for a profit. Phase 1, collect sacks. Phase 2, who knows? Phase 3, profit. Granny and Grandpa came over for lunch, but I can only remember it for Granny's bitching over the fact Mum completed the patio. Why would your Granny be pissed off your Mum completed the patio?
Do you not remember the whole debacle with the patio?
I remember you doing the patio.
Yeah, I started it, but I didn't finish it.
Oh, your mum had to finish it. I missed that in last month's episode.
No, but I think I said I had finished it in the last episode.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering why it is
Maybe you did
not
a shit
finished?
job and your mum had to like pull it up and redo it.
I don't know. Does it give any more detail? Or
None of my efforts had been appreciated, which was surely at least half of the work.
if I remember correctly, I was looking for some money for doing this whole job.
You were 100%. Mum claims she hasn't been whining about it too, but of course she has. Why else would they have a go? So you did at least maybe half the work and you wanted to be paid for it after you told your mum you would do it all and after you nearly broke paving stones because you were so pissed off about it.
I've definitely been doing it, but I must have been doing it so slowly. I mean, there must only be about 16 pavers.
Yeah. It did sound like a lot of work though. You had to kind of pull them up and fill it in, and it wasn't just a case of relaying.
Yeah.
You had to do a fair bit of work, but you should have still been capable and still should have done it.
Well, even the neighbours were taking the piss.
Yeah, because you lived at home for free as an adult and lay in your bed all day playing games, so you should have maybe helped. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, what freaking day is it? Footy was last night. Today, that's Monday. I worked 2 till 8. Paul was lining himself up to give me shit again, but stock takers were in store and there was nowhere private to do so. He wasn't happy with the state of the shop after Saturday night. I'm sure you definitely tied it up to a high standard.
I was too busy coming up with
I'm convinced.
Band names and things that Steph would have been off work for.
That's bullshit. Me and Ash did a good job and there was only the two of us. Paul runs a shop like we're some kind of jewellers where cans of beans are like diamonds. It's the most orderly shop I've ever been in. Initially, I didn't know what he was going to bollock me for, but I was busy thinking of witty taunts to fire at him in case he fired me. My favourite was, good luck with your arch nemesis, the door frame, you fucking tubby bastard. Classic.
That's a pretty good one.
I actually quite enjoyed that. I would also love to see timid teenage Mark say those words out loud to somebody. You wouldn't say it now.
Never.
You wouldn't say
Never
it now
would.
when you're more
and it
confident.
doesn't get any better than this one. Mills manager Paul Baines is a cockhead. I couldn't believe him in the shop last night. He's so anal. Today was great. We beat the Frenchies in our bid to host the 2012 Olympics. London won, Paris 0. And we're not half gloating about it. It rained almost all day. It had done for ages. Then, when it was time for the Hairside Massive to play up at the high school, the clouds parted. Up until that point, I hadn't wanted to play, but I'm glad I did. I was full of energy. We won 3-2 against a pretty average team. Then afterwards, we went home and got ready to go out to town. It was in aid of Ian's birthday and for the fact that 2 of his friends were down from Berwick. Several people were out tonight. After drinks in Vodka Revs, we went to Blue Bamboo. I was totally up for a night out, drinking and dancing away as you do. I was surprised at Ian's drunken state, but I think everyone was a bit jolly. I decided to exit with Lank and Humble and a few others in a familiar journey to Tesco 24. Amidst the craziness which ensued, we drove by Chubb's house even though he was at work, and I left a pie on his doorstep and rang the doorbell and ran back to Lank's car. How old am I?
I would not be opening my door at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Comical genius.
All across the news was the news of terrorist bombings in London. Al-Qaeda targeted the transport system of tubes and also buses. The death toll rose throughout the day, but the last body count I heard was 37 dead and over 400 injured. I don't remember that.
The bus bombs?
No.
Do you not remember the image of the really mangled double-decker bus?
No. I don't think I do.
This was our 9/11 really.
I was 19, so it's not like I wasn't a kid. London was effectively brought to a halt. There won't have been 2 days back-to-back in this country. History will have contrasted so much. It was only yesterday we were all buzzing about London getting the nod ahead of Paris for the 2012 Olympics. I had this nervous vibe because I checked my balance and I've been spending way too much. The story that repeats itself.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
Copy and paste.
Yes, exactly. I also knew I had to get home and get ready to start my 2 to 8 shift at Mills. Work was okay. They had this new floor cleaner delivered and a full demonstration was given by this dude. I'm sure you were thrilled. Today was interesting. I was woken by the doorbell. I was supposed to have set my alarm to get up and let the decorator in, but I did so without the alarm. Hoo-hoo. It's like I'm psychic. I did so without the alarm. Yes, you did it by the doorbell because that's what woke you up. It's not like you just woke automatically. He was busy then in the bathroom and shower room in the morning, but it was undoubtedly a rush job, especially the bathroom. The paper is horrible and the laying of it is even worse. It may as well have been stuck on by a child with a Pritt stick. Ben and I went to the shops to send Spider-Man to the fool who bought it. We went to Gamitation, where I bought a Japanese version of Street Fighter 2, Red Zone and Thunder Force 2, all of which I'll sell on for a profit. Maha! Step 1. Buy games. Step 2.
I didn't sell them, I kept them.
Of course she didn't.
And I shouldn't have
them.
sold Spider-Man because that was worth way more than £18.
Oh my God. I had work at 5 till 10, which was okay, but I was thrilled to find the new Retro Gamer on the shelves. You've literally just talked about how you've got no money in your bank account and you just had to pay for this holiday, and still you were out shopping.
Yeah, but just for games. Games are cheap as.
Yes, but you don't have any money, Mark.
I do.
But
I'm
you
working.
don't.
I'm working.
You've got no money.
I've got money from the shop job.
Yes, but not enough because you just check your bank and you're scared of it.
No. And Mum was pissed off because I said I was going to have to borrow money off her.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I don't think I ended up getting money off her. I may have, but... buggered off downtown shortly afterwards and by foot through Nunsmore Park, which I hadn't seen for ages. In town, I posted Soleil, which sold for a profit. Then I met Lank and Humble. Big on profit. Probably made about 20 quid or something.
I know. But you've mentioned profit nearly every single day.
I'm getting pretty excited
profit.
about it.
So much profit.
Yeah, like I'm getting more from just doing a job. Why not just do a job?
I know. Rather than having to go through the rigmarole of posting stuff and then regretting that you've sold it anyway.
I know.
It's just an excuse for you to go into shop and buy games because you're like, oh yeah, I'll totally sell these and make a profit.
Yeah, such bullshit. I hadn't planned it that way, but we all need Turkish lira for our holiday. So we visited the Bureau de Change.
Very exotic.
We went to Tesco on the way back to Cramlington, where I bought the cheapest disposable camera I've seen, £2.97. From what I can see, it is in fact a camera and not a shit water pistol gag, and it claims to have a flash also. Riveting.
Fancy.
When we got back, I did a limited amount of packing, clothes mainly. I found I had no pairs of trunks anymore. Where did they all go? I'll have to get some tomorrow or just get undesirable tan lines with the only alternative I have, swim shorts. In the event of any close encounters with any girls in Turkey, I decided it was in everyone's best interest if I did a bit of hedge trimming downstairs.
Oh my God.
Why have I mentioned that? This is like an episode of In-Betweeners.
It's the way that you say it as well, in case of any close encounters. You sound like a guy that wears a fedora. Hello, ladies. Seeing as we're planning to have a close encounter tonight.
I have trimmed my pubes. Surely...
Using some nail clippers.
Listen to this bit. Surely lion's mane is preferable to jungle fever.
What is wrong with you?
That's funny.
Trim down your little ginger bush.
Craig, aka Shieldsy, came around briefly as we all sat in the garden on another warm day. Myself, Craig and Michelle went down to the shops where we saw Steph. As it turns out, she had been off sick with suspected food poisoning. I took an order from Pip to get some duty-free tobacco and then watched a cracking film called The Village. It was by the fellow who did Sixth Sense, Signs and Unbreakable. I didn't predict the twist which it had in store. I rarely do in films. That's probably why I enjoy them so much.
Finally the day has arrived. We're going to Turkey.
Turkey.
Do we want to guess how many girls you sleep with on this holiday?
Your
I
guess.
mean, you know the answer. I'm going to say 0.
Okay.
I still didn't have much urgency to pack. You've still not packed. But it didn't take that long in the end. I picked up a pair of trunks at the last minute from Asda. They look like mini shorts, though. Ian came around at 2:30 with his younger brother Dave, and we speeded off to Newcastle Airport. We met up with Lank and Humble, and it wasn't long before we were up in the sky. Between ourselves, we had plenty of magazines to read on the plane, and I haven't recently been on a long-haul flight. The 3 hours, 40-minute journey to Bodrum didn't bother me. It was Ian who insisted he was bored. I guess it was before the days of like everyone having their own screen as well.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have had a screen for those kind of length
For the
flights.
short ones, no, not in 2005. Lank slept, me and Humble chatted away. The airline company seemed to be charging for everything, so it was with some relief when the inclusive in-flight meal actually arrived. Lank managed to spill milk on my arm, and then I proceeded to throw tea down myself. Once we touched down, it was around 11 at night, so after a simple check-in, there was a bus waiting to take us to our hotel, the Aria in Gumbert. It looks like a country just finding its feet, Turkey. Gumbert was bustling, and after dropping other people at other hotels, we got to the area.
Looks like a country just finding his feet. The cradle of civilization.
Ooh, look, they've discovered fire. None of the Arya staff had great English, but Ian and I got to our room fine. It was hot and humid, had obviously just been cleaned, but is fine, really. You seem to be complaining. I bet you paid like £100 for this trip.
250, I think it was.
For flights and accommodation?
I think so.
For a week?
Yeah, something like that.
And you already sound slightly disappointed. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, really. It's clean.
First proper lads holiday as well.
Yes, but what do you expect?
I don't know.
Lank and Humble had no key for their apartment initially. Lank wanted to go out, but we ended up playing cards and drinking some Turkish beer in their cool poolside veranda. The humidity didn't make sleeping easy. I went to bed at 4 and got up at 8. I even tried to sleep on the sofa, but it was at least cooler. It's been up to the 40s in temperature, so it's going to be hot. I decided to splash some cash on an excursion somewhere, and that turned out to be the Turkish baths. I could only persuade Ian to go. After an overdue breakfast with the lads, we went to wait for the bus. This weaved its way through Gumbert and into the hills. The Turkish countryside is dry and barren, yet still trees and bushes decorate the slopes. Many people turn up at the baths, and we were given an intro into what the whole ordeal entails. I made the mistake, however, of not bringing my swim shorts. Why would you not take swim shorts on an excursion to the Turkish baths?
I don't know, but it doesn't get any better.
I was supplied with a flimsy towel and had to endure several embarrassing moments in a vain attempt to conceal my manhood. Were you naked?
Under the towel?
Did you not just keep your undies on?
No, I don't think I did.
Those attempts often failed to the amusement of Ian, and I'm sure the others also. The most ridiculous scenario was trying to maintain my dignity in the spa. The bubbles rose and filled the towel, giving the impression of excessive flatulence. She wore the towel into the spa.
I didn't have anything else to put on. So I had this shitty little skimpy towel, and everyone else was in shorts, and I'm just like,
who goes to the Turkish baths without taking them? But if you did by accident, why didn't you just keep your boxers on? It makes no sense.
I don't know.
It makes no sense as to why you wouldn't just keep your box. Why would you get yourself nailed when everyone else is wearing swimsuits? Why would you not just keep your boxers on? Or whatever shorts you were wearing.
I don't know.
And just go home wet.
Yeah.
That's the sensible thing to do.
Yeah, in hindsight it is.
Oh my God. The massage at the end also proved to be a disaster in terms of flashing. Let's just say the whole process of rolling over to get my front done could have gone better. It has to be said, though, that there were many fine women there. But it was so warm, like an orgy without the sex. Because you absolutely know what an orgy is like.
Well, making assumptions, but yeah.
Absolutely. We went out this evening, but not with a group of girls in our complex as I'd hoped we might. Instead, we went around Gumbert's main boozing district. This is a great holiday already. I'm enjoying this. I have never heard that Turkish bath story.
Never?
No, you've never told me. Never told me. That is hilarious.
I had a much better sleep last night and got up around 11. I tucked into some watermelon and was soon up by the pool in my small black swim shorts that I didn't bring to the spa yesterday. Emma the rep came by and spoke to the 3 babes that had been out last night, whom we should have followed. I took the opportunity to meet and greet them, break the ice. The one I
Look at you being forward.
When in Rome. The one I like, Rachel, goes to Newcastle Uni, but like the other 2, are actually Preston girls. I swam around with them for a bit and then lounged by the pool for the rest of the afternoon. I had a trial doing snorkeling. Well, no, it was scuba diving. It was cool, so myself and Lank are going to go tomorrow. Emma also signed us up for a Bodrum bar crawl tomorrow night. I continued chatting to Rachel and then the 2 other stunners, Michelle and Sarah. I sorted out dinner with them and ourselves, but any hopes of holiday sex encounters were scuppered when Rachel announced that they have boyfriends. What a flaming wreck of an idea that turned out to be. It did, however, make dinner with them at Chinatown a lot more easygoing. It was a nice meal too. Cannelloni, the best I've ever had.
Cannelloni in Chinatown?
In Turkey. We got some free cocktails, but it was only because the girls were there. After the meal, the lads and lasses sadly parted ways, and we ended up back at Aria playing pool. Ian went off with some lass, and I don't know what happened there. Lank and Hubble and I ended up on the veranda having a laugh. Today was incredible. I was woken up early by Lank, who got me up because we were about to go scuba diving. The same Turkish guy who gave us the brief yesterday in the pool drove us down to the wharf, and it wasn't long before we were chugging into the bay. The water in the Mediterranean is so clear, but it's also very salty. I realised this later on when I went snorkeling.
Do you mean to tell me that the sea is full of salt?
Yes.
You seem so shocked by this. Oh my God, the sea is so salty. Who would have imagined?
I think I just mean more salty than others, but surely that can't be the case.
How would you even determine that? I detect 3 parts salt to 1 part
More
water.
salt, please.
Once again, giving your expert opinion on something you know nothing about.
A German gave us our basic lesson in scuba diving, equipment, hand signals, safety and stuff like that. I had no problems with breathing, and it was only about 10 minutes later that I had a bit more freedom and I could go around in the sea. He took some underwater photos of me in some funny poses. The experience was amazing. The fish, the sea, you name it. Back at Aria, we had dinner at a local pizzeria, and we got ready to go to Bodrum on a bar crawl. We'd been given tight red Turkish tops to wear, and once everyone else was at the first bar, we looked like a right bunch of tourists. What initially seemed to be a cringeworthy experience soon became the best night we've had yet. For each bar we went to, we got a free shot, and then whatever else you decided you wanted, you just bought. Then the reps would announce a drinking game or a challenge. Lank and I both got involved in these. He and another 4 lads had a dance-off, topless, to the full Monty music. He lost, but it was still funny. Later on, I had to down a pint through this other guy's sock. Ugh. It was a race, but you had to do it topless, obviously. The crowd cheered away, even though it was the other guy who won. My face was out there, making it easier to talk to the girls.
I think we have mastered the sleeping pattern for an English holidaymaker in Turkey. The idea is to stay up until around 4 a.m. and wake up at 11. It could be a later rise, but in myself and Ian's case, we get woken up by Lank. We've decided he has ADD because he's hyperactive and can't maintain one activity for more than 2 minutes. We all wandered down to the beach for some mincing. What's mincing?
I thought mincing was like dancing around.
Yeah.
So we've gone to the beach for a dance.
Especially Lank, who was pursuing penetration rights for some barely legal Welsh girls. Disgusting. In the meantime, I swam out from the shore to chat to some girls I'd seen last night. I love how you're calling Lank disgusting for trying to chat to a girl on the beach, but you've spotted people that are like actively away from you and have swam.
Yeah. I see them out in the bay somewhere. I can swim that far. Did they swim away from me?
They turned out to be Mancunian girls, and with a little prompting, remembered my drinking characters from last night. They did not remember you at all. It was like, it was me, remember? Me! You know, me! Did you see me doing this? And they were like, yeah.
Drinking the beer through the sock.
I know. They were like, yeah, no.
So cool.
Totally remembered you. They did not remember you. They did not remember you at all. With some prompting. There is no way they remembered you. One girl in particular bears resemblance to Keira Knightley. Me and the lads sunbathed in the beach edge beer garden, where I was soon gasping for water and any morsel of food available. Because I'm out of loot, things kind of suck, because I have to either borrow money or do what I did and exchange the rest of Pip's tobacco money for Turkish currency. Mark! You have been on like 3 fucking excursions and you know how much money you've got. Because you exchanged it at the start. Why do you do this?
I have no memory.
This is so bad. You're either going to borrow money off your friends who probably also don't have very much money, or you're going to steal money from Pip.
I can't believe I did that.
At least this enabled me to get in the bare minimum for a few more days' survival. I can't believe you booked excursions when you haven't got enough money to eat
No.
and drink, which is the main point. Like, that scuba trip wouldn't have been cheap.
No. It was amazing, though.
Yes, but still, you can't afford it, Mark. There's lots of things. Flying in a private jet is amazing, but we don't do it because we can't afford it.
All right, calm down.
This is just frustrating, like, because I know this has happened in the past, and I know this continues to happen when we're first together as well, and it's just stressing me out a little bit.
Okay.
Because this is just...
Take a few deep breaths.
Back at the apartment, I read some of my Las Vegas book and had a power nap before contemplating going for a curry.
That's eating. That's allowed, right?
You've got no money, though. Why are you
What am I
going
gonna do?
out?
Raid a bin.
This was Ian's idea. He loaned me some money for the
There you
dude.
go. Sorted.
So I was able to gorge myself on the best meat, spices, pilau rice, and naan bread Gumbert had to offer. I love how you use the word gorge when you've had to borrow money from someone. You get a basic fucking meal. If they've got a meal deal on, you get it. It was a superb location for the meal, taken in a view of the main street and the bay. The days on this Turkish trip are numbered, so I wanted to soak up some rays today. Lank woke me up with a startling flash. He'd leant through the window and prodded me, taking a photo of me in my stupor. All the lads wanted Burger King for lunch, so we went to the nearby outlet we'd spotted last night.
I've got that photo, by the way. It's horrendous.
I really want to see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it, though. We hadn't had a meal with such high fat content for quite a while. It felt like a balloon was expanding from within. Such was the bloated presence created by this food. We went back to the area again for some pool time. The Preston girls were there again, but seem about excitable as a bear in hibernation. What's more, Humble told me when we were out tonight, this other fellow we saw walking out with them this evening had sweetened them up by suggesting he thought they were supermodels. What a fake ass. The girls bought it too. Maybe that's the male equivalent of a Pied Piper tune women play to get men's attention, as Humble and myself had humorously debated recently. The women play the tune and the men dance along in a stupor. Women want to be told they're special, and the power of men comes in the fake-ass comments they can make. Is this it? God, you sound like, what are those men called? What are they called where they purposefully, like, they say that they're, like, they choose to be celibate incels?
You've brought this one up before.
Yeah, you sound like an incel.
Yeah, I haven't been successful,
No.
and now I'm getting angry.
But it's concerning that this is just, like, a natural, like, mindset. That I'm not putting, like, all men into the same category as your head. But it is concerning that this becomes the natural mindset that, or I'm not getting laid, so all women must be against me.
Yeah.
Whereas, in fact, you're just boring and weird. That's the problem. And you, like, swim up to people that are on the other side of the fucking ocean.
Boring and weird.
And be like, hello, remember me from last night?
See, I'm not boring. I drink beer out of socks. I'm cool.
What do you mean you don't remember me?
Is that how you drink beer from a sock?
So you drink beer from the sock. I'm not the one that can't get laid.
That's going to become a gift, by the way.
Lank has certainly been dancing to the tune of this Welsh girl he met. They went out tonight, but we never located them. To be honest, the most fun I had was when we finished dinner at the local restaurant and we were able to use this free pool table. I beat Humble 3-1. We've conjured a merit scheme on personal achievements with respect to women, sporting triumph, etc. Lank is on 1 because he scored with his Welsh piece. Myself and Humble are on par, and Ian is on -2 because he's folded under pressure with women twice.
How are we on par? We've had no success at
Because you
all.
both got 0.
So it would be 0, not par.
On par means equal.
Yeah, but I think Ian's probably done better than we have.
No, you said Ian's got -2.
Yeah, but he's at least tried, hasn't he?
You tried.
Yeah, yes.
You spoke to the girls around the pool before you found out they had girlfriends and invited them for dinner. And then you found the girls that you were
It
on
started
bar
off
crawl
well
with.
enough.
Did it?
Yeah, let's be proactive.
You were being proactive, just shooting the wrong way.
Not wearing bathers.
Not wearing bathers.
Swimming out to randoms.
And say, remember me. What do you mean you don't remember me? I was the fun one. all while treading water. You just out in the sea.
Jordan. Let me just pull off my socks so I can see what I might have looked like.
So ridiculous. That is so in-betweeners. It would surprise me if that wasn't an in-betweener sketch. Oh yeah, there's some skills from last night. Oh.
I think they're women. There was an air of curiosity in the camp today. We wondered how Lankin got on with the young Welsh lady after we failed to find him last night. Let's just say beach and hanky-panky and leave the rest to your own imagination. Today was the last full day, but during the hours of light we chilled out by the pool or in the water to cool off. For dinner we trudged around and eventually came to a hotel restaurant by the beach. I was starving at this point. Prawn cocktail and pizza took care of that. Initially, the general consensus was we were all quite tired and seriously contemplating not going out, but to hell with that. On the way back to the apartment, we picked up some beers and for the second time, I hired the pool table within the Aria complex, and it wasn't long before we were dressed and best and back out amongst the drinking district of Gumbet. We made an excellent decision to drop into the karaoke bar, where we actually stayed until 4:30 in the morning. Lang kicked off our rendition with Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand. This helped spur me on, and I chose to crank out Slide Away by Oasis. I've never done karaoke before, but I thought it was fantastic. I've never done karaoke before.
You must have done. Also, I love that you thought it was fantastic. I'm assuming you mean that your rendition was fantastic.
Yeah, obviously it was. I proceeded to do no less than 3 other songs: Save Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry, Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis, and then we did Tenacious D's Tribute, which everyone did except for Ian, who wandered off home after a disturbing performance by Lindisfarne. It was a fitting end to our last night. 0 women.
0 women.
Your prediction was correct. Ian woke me up this morning, prompting me to pack up my stuff. We had to be out by midday and were to stay at the other apartment for the rest of the day. I had nothing left to eat, but there was a half-finished bag of crisps and a water at Lanks and Humbles, so that was something to eat at least. The 4 of us spent the majority of the day in the pool. Later on, we had a simple dinner at Aria restaurant where I had a distinctly un-Turkish English breakfast. Lank and Hubble completed their packing, and we all went out briefly to look for fake merchandise. I haven't got any money. What am I going to be looking for?
It's never stopped you before.
Ian and Humble both got fake football shirts. Humble's was the best, an old Galatasaray away strip. The coach took us from Gumbet to the military-controlled airport, which, whilst waiting for our flight, we sat about playing ridiculous games, some as stupid as lobbing paper balls off each other's faces. This is just like being back at 6th form.
We got to Newcastle Airport at about 2 in the morning, where it was substantially cooler than our previous destination. It seemed like an eternity before our bags came out the hatch along the conveyor belt. We just got a taxi home and I instantly hit the hay. I feel like back in the day, we did used to wait for hours for bags, but I feel like they all come out really quickly now.
Yeah, they've got better.
Yeah. I had loads of dirty clothes put through the wash, but I didn't put any detergent in with the first load, just conditioner. People wonder how I get by in the outside world when I make mistakes like that. Besides cleaning some of the clothes, I made acquaintance with the old laptop for some eBay fun. I also looked on the Landscape website and found an opening in Sheffield for a landscape graduate. I can't wait to get a real job. The idiots at Mills had apparently rang and asked why I wasn't at work on Monday. Idiots. If only they had taken any notice of my holiday dates. I was down there this evening just to check when I'm working for the rest of the week. Could you not have called them?
It was really close to where I lived.
Okay. I had to go through an embarrassing episode today of giving Pip money back, which I'd spent on holiday but fortunately loaned from Mum. Oh my God.
That's pretty embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. You disgust me.
Uh-huh.
I won't be able to give her that until my PayPal money comes through or I get my wage from work.
Oh, man.
How embarrassing. Sorry, Pip. I know you gave me money, but I spent it on booze and still didn't have enough money for the last 3 days of my holiday.
No.
I play footy at the high school this evening, but there are no official games on. We just played 4-on-4 between ourselves. I must have scored about 6, and the lads exclaimed, "Who's this guy that's come back from Turkey?" And you're just like, what, me?
Oh, yeah.
Shame we didn't have an official game. My goals would have been worth something more, but I was happy anyway. Mum got my disposable camera developed, and there are some funny, almost embarrassing shots among them. I'll have to get the scuba diving photos off Lank.
Yeah, I'll show you those. They're pretty bad.
Please do.
I phoned Matt Forty and Matt Wilson just to see how they're doing. I told them I still plan to go back to Sheffield in September. Hopefully I'll be in a better financial state then than I am now. Probably not. I did a bit more emailing of my CVs today, the first steps in the right direction. I had to go to work this evening, 6 till 11, just me, Doris and Craig. I saw that a staff night had been arranged for a week tomorrow. I stuck my name down. These kinds of social gatherings can often be quite entertaining. I look forward to seeing the others intoxicated. In all honesty, I wasn't going to go, but I saw a few names on the list and I thought it might be disappointing to not go. Lank called this afternoon to see if I wanted to go on a run. I decided I would, even though I had to work tonight. We ran for miles over several fields. Sometimes it would get quite warm when the sun came out for long enough. My legs felt achy with shin splints when we completed the run.
When I got back from the cinema, I went to Mills to check my shifts. Having put my name on the list for the staff night out, I still seem to have been put down to work that night. Now that gave me the shits. But the fact Paul has put me down for Wednesday night when he knows I play footy then is just ridiculous. I couldn't help but briefly entertain my hatred for Paul and Mills, but then I told myself to lighten up. I won't be there forever. I'll get a real job eventually. Everything that's meant to happen does. Getting a job in landscape is a very realistic target. I've been told if you keep visualising it happening, it will happen.
That's mature.
Positive thinking. It's
probably the most mature thing I've written all month.
It is mature.
More so than swimming out into sea.
More
to
so. Remember me? However, I still feel like just thinking it's going to happen without actually applying for jobs means it will still never happen.
So you think it's just a front?
Yes.
Right.
Because this is the first time you've mentioned visualising anything.
Yeah, but I've been on holiday this month, so...
But you've also been looking for a job. We're now like a year past graduation.
I sent my CV out, and I sent CD out to that opening. I'm not sending anything out like speculatively.
Which is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
I had a long 12 to 8 shift to wade through at Mills today. I find the best thing to do is keep yourself occupied. The less you worry about the time, the faster it will go. You're being very philosophical.
Yeah.
When Paul waddled in, I said hello whilst he squeezed into the office. Oh my God, everything is about him being fat. Everyone upped the tempo briefly. I managed to get my Wednesday shift brought back to a few hours so I can play footy, but it remains to be seen whether I can get Friday's shift changed. Then I discussed the situation with Suzanne very slowly so she could understand. That's mean. Suzanne, I need... She said if Paul doesn't let Ash swap shifts with her, she can do mine and I'll forfeit the shift altogether. Paul might not let Ash swap his night shift for Suzanne's morning one because the other day Ash was supposed to open at the shop at 6 and didn't get in until 8 o'clock. He slept in. I could only imagine Paul's angry wheezing and excessive sweating over that ordeal, but I wouldn't have thought he'd give Ash a second chance so soon. I was surprised when Steph arrived at 6. We messed around for the last 2 hours of my shift. There wasn't that much to do. She's obviously looking forward to Friday. She's been discussing outfits with Vicky. She said she may wear a skirt rather than jeans if Ash doesn't go because he's been a bit touchy-feely in the past. I couldn't believe it when she said she'd scored with him before. I think she likes me, to be honest, regardless of her boyfriend.
Yeah, very confident.
But that's another, like, if a girl's just being nice to you and just likes your company, you just think that she wants to have sex with you rather than just be nice to you because she's a nice person.
Yeah.
And thinks that you're...
I don't think I'm at that stage yet.
You're not. I was at work from 12 to 6, which was pretty boring. Steph arrived at 4, which perked things up a bit. I asked Paul if it would be all right for Suzanne to do my Friday shift after his non-compliance to my note. He said he'd have to ask her, which will hopefully result in her doing the shift, seeing as we've already been all over this. I noticed how overcast it was when I walked up to meet Lank and Humble. We walked around to Gemmel's mansion in Bairns Park to watch the Newcastle Deportivo game. We were contemplating the Intertoto Cup semi-final. I feel like there's like 12 things I've mispronounced there.
Doesn't matter.
And though we thoroughly outplayed, we only lost 2-1. The game's level of entertainment was matched by a game of hide and seek later on. Mark Reed's positioning behind the sofa proved to be the winning spot, but my curtain concealment was surely worthy of a mention. You were playing actual hide and seek?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
How old am I?
The timing is all wrong. I'm off today, but I don't have any money to spend. There's a shock. I'm working tomorrow and getting paid then. That is the situation now anyway. Despite any best efforts to get Suzanne to do my shift, Paul has intervened and said that he didn't want her doing 3 shifts in quick succession. When I asked Suzanne why, I rang her this evening from Mills. She said Paul didn't want her doing the shifts in case she didn't get up the next morning to open the shop because Ash hadn't opened the shop at the appropriate time the other day. What relevance does that have on Suzanne's ability to do the shifts and open the store, you might ask? None. Not at all. It's just Paul being a cockhead. A cockhead, if not for that, then the fact he's cancelled the staff night out tomorrow because not enough people are going. Michaela, Dora and Steph were working and I hanged around, entertained by Steph's suggestion to go out tomorrow night anyway. Then I remembered how young she is when she suggested we go to the village. Classy, not. Been there, done that, town is better.
I should have just gone anyway.
Like, why is Paul in charge of when you guys go out? This seems ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm just wondering why I didn't go out with Steph there. Having had no direct feedback from Paul on whether I could swap shifts with Suzanne, only indirect second-hand messages, I was both surprised and disappointed when Paul rang this morning asking if I could still work tonight. And like the fool I am, I said yes, and I didn't question him. What a tool I am.
I'll just write it in this diary instead about how much I hate that cockhead, swollen balls, Paul.
I don't think I mentioned his balls. Definitely me calling him fat a lot, though. Oh, today was horrible. The weather, my job, it all stank. I moped on down to work at 12 and had cockhead Paul Baines in my face straight away. He didn't like the fact that I had trainers on, but I didn't give a shit.
He seems like a real power-hungry arsehole, this guy.
He is. He didn't give me any sympathy when I told him that I had bunions and that was the reason
got bunions?
I had trainers on.
How old are you? I've got bunions.
I don't think I did.
You don't have bunions.
Bullshitting.
Bunions are for old ladies. You don't have bunions. You're like
I got bunions.
You're like 23. I've got bunions.
I got arthritis.
What an excuse.
It's not like it was that rebellious. Then he made me sign in this bullshit document on the protocol for opening the store in response to Ash's previous shortcomings in getting up.
Oh my God, he's
in the morning.
obsessed.
He's a twat. I didn't like that choice of words in that he made it sound like as though it was everyone's fault. I worked right up until 8 and was less than thrilled to find I have to work tomorrow as well. 10 a.m. start. Boo.
I'd love to have stayed in bed, but I was on a collision course for a 10-4 at Mills. Initially, it was Leanne in charge, and she said Paul was now on holiday for 2 weeks. Everything then seemed fantastic, until he strangely made an appearance, which confused me. Was it him? Is he actually away? Is this just a robot? I'd have guessed yes on the robot account, but I had my doubts on the possible robot recreation of Paul's waddle. When he eventually spotted me wearing my trainers, he asked how the bunion was. Same as yesterday, I said. They don't just heal overnight. I love how you've made up this story now, but having
just rolling with it.
And that, my friend, is the end of the month. You still have no grasp on money or budgeting.
No.
So you should not be allowed to live on your own.
But first, boys' holiday. Win.
First boys' holiday.
Funny
it
anecdotes.
Was good. Very funny anecdotes. The bass was my favourite, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the bass was my favourite or you swimming up to those girls in the ocean.
The way that you pitched it probably is funnier.
Because she said, with a little prompting, they remembered who I was. And I 100% know they did not remember you.
Let me tell you a little
At
bit
all.
more about the Turkish baths. So it was this big circular room
Yeah.
and people were crowded around the edge waiting for their turn to get the massage in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a big, like, raised kind of like circular plinth that you had to lie on. And I had this skimpy little towel. And so they massage you back and then you roll over.
So it wasn't a private room.
No, it wasn't. So there was people. So whoever was basically sat down from where I was got a full view of my junk.
I just can't believe you didn't have the sensibility to just wear your underpants.
It's just, I remember it was embarrassing at the time, but I'm getting re-embarrassed by the embarrassment.
Because you should have just worn your underpants. She went there in pants and chose to take them off.
I know, but isn't that'd be kind of weird too, wouldn't it? Like this soggy pair of undies.
Yes, Mark, but what's more weird? Just having your nuts out like on a table that everybody else has to lie on.
I don't know. I thought if I just rolled with it, it would be like, oh yeah, it was European. And
Just rolling with it, Mark, is just going in there naked and just not giving a shit. You trying to hide yourself not very well with a tiny towel is not rolling with it. You taking the towel into the water so that it could like bubble up every 5 minutes is not rolling with it.
just constantly trying to hide myself.
Exactly. You did not roll with it. Rolling with it is going in naked, which I'm sure you're supposed to do in Turkish baths anyway. I thought it was all about the nudity.
Well, there wasn't anyone else with just a bloody skimpy little towel.
Well. Excellent work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll probably dream about that tonight, unfortunately.
Oh,
It's going to be the last thing I remember before I go to bed.
okay. Lucky you.
No, unfortunately. If you hear me laughing in my sleep, that's what I'm laughing at.
All right, shall we neck a beer through a sock?
If you do, I'll definitely remember, I promise.
Yeah, we don't actually have any beers to neck, so that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Badly Written Boy. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe button.